So this is all just stories. You guys already know that. You know the rundown. You know the non-dual prefacing. Blah 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 blah. These messages aren't meant to convince you guys of anything. And that can be felt. It could be sensed that this is not to convince anybody of anything. There's no motive here. There's no intention. There's just talk and seeming descriptions of what can't be described that seem to be happening, okay? But yeah, ultimately this is just a meaningless description that leads nowhere and doesn't accurately describe anything. So ultimately this is nothing pretending to be everything. This is everything and nothing, which are two sides of the same coin. Existence and non-existence, two sides of the same coin. Existence could be equal to God, could be equal to the dream or the illusion. Existence is equal to everything, to all, to the whole. Existence is equal to oneness. And non-existence can be equal to void, no God, nothing, no-ness. Yeah, nothing can do that. And what I'm saying is that those two things are the two different sides of the same coin. Even that description doesn't do it real justice, and nothing will. Nothing I can say will do any of this justice. It's just absolutely beautiful. But and sometimes it's not. It's whatever. But nothingness is allowing this illusion. No one, no thing is allowing the illusion of everything, the illusion of this, of you and I. But everything, existence itself, is God. Existence itself is I am that I am, identity, definition. This as a one thing, okay? Oneness versus no-ness, I guess. Oneness with no-ness, oneness from no-ness, you can call it whatever. It doesn't really matter. But no-ness is dreaming oneness. In the dream of oneness as two-ness, I guess. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book, huh? The dream of nothing is one. The dream of no-ness is oneness, and the dream of oneness is that it's been broken up into allness. So everything, every separate thing. The dream of oneness is it's dreaming the dream. It's dreaming the dream that there's really separate sounds and separate things and separate objects and separate people and separate minds and separate souls and separate squirrels in the background. It's dreaming that already. So I am that I am is just the recognition of oneness, that you can't be one aspect of the dream. There's no one aspect of the dream, truly. There's no single separate aspect of the dream. There's just the whole entire thing, the whole entire dream. So you are either a fake separate self, a fake sense of you that only exists in contrast to some separate other, or you are all oneness. You are all oneness. You are all of it. You're the whole picture. You're the whole existence. You aren't one whole separate person. You are whole. You are oneness, which is the dream of no-ness. Oneness is the dream of no-ness. And separateness is the dream of oneness. No God, no heaven, no hell, no nothing is dreaming a heaven already. It's dreaming a heaven already. It's dreaming a God, and then a God is dreaming a devil, dreaming a hell. A heaven's dreaming a hell. This is a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. And I am that I am. There's people critical of the word enlightenment or the word awakening. It sounds heavy, it sounds significant to the person, because it sounds like a person here is claiming to be enlightened or awake or whatever. No. It's not that. And it's only a mind that can see those words as like significant or a person unworthy of using them or whatever. What I'm saying is that there's no person using them. And what I'm saying is that enlightenment and awakening or awake or whatever is the case. Am I saying that it's the case for a separate person? Not at all. Maybe it appears that way. Maybe, I don't know. But oneness is God. And you could say enlightenment is recognition of I am that I am. And you could say that there's no I, and that's because I am that I am is birthed out of no-ness. I am that I am equals oneness, which is birthed out of no-ness. Birthed out of. That's being projected by no-ness, whatever you want to say. I am that I am is enlightenment, because it's realizing that identity can only be filled with more identity. I am that I am. Identity can only be filled with more identity. The second that you try to fill identity with something different, hell is created. Hell is believed. So the second that you put I am good or I am bad at the end of any I am, I am a person. I am isn't a person. It's not a person at all. I am is just I am. I am a person is already hell. I am a mind is already hell. I am a soul is already hell. So I am that I am is a recognition that, well, exactly that. I am that I am. Identity can only be filled with more identity. It's almost realizing everybody thinks that there's a mask, and underneath that mask there's something. There's a soul, there's a description. There's a word you could put at the end of I am that makes I am real. I am that I am is knowing that there's nothing else you could put at the end of I am, and that I am will always be a stack of masks. It will be a stack of masks. You can rip them off and rip them off, but eventually you get to knownness. It is a stack of masks. It's a Russian doll. Keep pulling them apart and pulling them apart. It can only be filled with more identity. Because there's nothing else to it. This is born out of knownness. It's born out of knownness, out of nothingness. So God itself is the knowing of that. that this is not real. That identity can only be filled with more identity. Stories can only be filled with more stories. That God is the dream itself, that existence is the dream itself, and that you've never been separate from that. You've never been separate from the view or the scene. It's just exactly what's happening, and that there's never been any judgment on the scene of it being good or bad or right or wrong or what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing, that this is just the scene playing out. So truly enlightenment and awakening are for no one. Nobody gets here. There's no me that got here. There's just the me that remembered it's not a me. That's not an I. It's not an I that could be anything more than an I. And that it's also not separate. It's just I. Maybe it is just I. There's no explaining that can do it justice, but maybe it's just I. This is all already. All God. All existence. No me experiencing existence. This is no experiencer. This is no one. This is knownness birthing allness. And allness dreaming that it is separated into separate things. This is knownness dreaming allness. Oneness. Knownness dreaming oneness, that everything is one projection, one organism that you can call God. That is the dream. And I am that I am, or enlightenment, is recognition of the whole, no separation between the whole organism, which is still a dream. And then hell, or the illusion, is that there is separate self and there are separate identified objects that you can point to that have borders that are separate from the big one organism. So truly, you you as a separate self don't exist outside of oneness. You as a separate self don't exist outside of oneness. That's illusory. And then you, as I am that I am that I am, doesn't really exist outside of nothingness, outside of no one, outside of no I.